Have you ever wondered why Michelangelo's David looks tense, focused, and almost afraid? Isn't he supposed to be the victorious hero? Then why does he look like he's anticipating something terrible? Welcome to Old Topic, where we explore the greatest mysteries of our past. And today, we're diving into one of the most iconic sculptures in human history, Michelangelo's David, and the mystery behind its symbolism. This isn't just a statue of a biblical hero. No, David is far more than that. Carved from a single block of marble between 1501 and 1504, this 17-foot-tall masterpiece has captivated viewers for centuries. But beyond its physical perfection lies a puzzle that art historians, scholars, and critics have debated for over 500 years. Let's rewind. Who was David? In the biblical story, David is the young shepherd boy who defeats the giant Goliath with nothing but a slingshot and a stone. Most artists before Michelangelo portrayed David after the victory, head held high, Goliath's decapitated head at his feet, triumphant. But Michelangelo, he chose a different moment, a different story. His David is before the battle, nervous, calculating, filled with intensity. Why? Why did Michelangelo choose to show David not as a champion but as a warrior about to risk everything? Some say this choice reflects Florence itself. You see, when Michelangelo sculpted David, Florence was a small, powerful republic constantly under threat from larger forces, much like David before Goliath. The city had just overthrown the powerful Medici family. Democracy was fragile, enemies were everywhere. And in this context, David wasn't just a biblical hero, he became Florence itself, vulnerable but courageous, alone, yet standing tall. Now take a closer look at David's body. Not just the slingshot over his shoulder, but the tension in his neck, the furrowed brow, the bulging veins in his hand. Michelangelo poured human anxiety into every inch. It's the moment before action, the psychological intensity of a man who knows he might die, but stands firm anyway. But wait, there's more. Look at his eyes. One gazes straight ahead, the other slightly off. Is it a flaw? No. Some scholars believe Michelangelo did this on purpose, creating a tension that reflects David's dual mindset, focus and fear, determination and doubt. And what about his right hand? It's unusually large, disproportionate even. This wasn't a mistake. The hand symbolizes action, power, will. In Renaissance symbolism, the right hand often represented divine strength. Michelangelo made it bigger on purpose, as if to remind us that David's victory wasn't just luck, it was strength, guided by faith. Now here's where it gets even more mysterious. The statue was originally meant for a high place on Florence Cathedral, but when the city saw what Michelangelo had created, they changed their minds. It was too perfect, too powerful to be hidden up high. They placed it in the political heart of the city, in front of the Palazzo Vecchio, the government building. Why? Because this David wasn't just art, it was a statement, a warning to Florence's enemies, a declaration of independence, a symbol of resistance. And yet, over the centuries, interpretations shifted. Some began to see David as the ideal of human beauty, others saw him as a symbol of divine favor, some even claimed the statue held secret messages, coded meanings placed by Michelangelo himself. After all, this was the High Renaissance. Artists were scholars, philosophers, scientists. They didn't just carve stone, they carved ideas. Could it be that Michelangelo hid something more? There's a theory that David's pose forms a classical triangle, a sacred geometry that Renaissance artists believed reflected harmony and balance in the universe. Others have pointed to David's nudity, not as eroticism but as honesty, vulnerability, truth, a man who hides nothing, who faces his enemy with only what God gave him. But the biggest mystery? Why does this statue still hold us in awe today? Is it the craftsmanship, the story, or maybe something deeper? Some believe David represents us, humanity, standing before the unknown, small, outmatched, but full of potential. Michelangelo may have carved more than just a hero, he carved a mirror of the human soul. Over 500 years later, millions still visit David in Florence. They gaze up, and for a moment they feel it too, that quiet strength. that looming fear, that invisible Goliath waiting beyond the frame. And maybe that's the true mystery. Not what Michelangelo put into David, but what he left for us to find. Thanks for watching Old Topic. If you enjoyed this dive into history's hidden corners, be sure to like, subscribe, and join us next time, where another ancient mystery is just waiting to be uncovered.